Hello everyone. This will be a very short video on screen manipulation within Augie, and on the screen here is our latest version of Augie's release. And you can see that the controls on the screen have been subdivided into categories, and each of the categories is actually a panel which is applied to the screen. In Mach 3, I was often castigated early on for having a very busy screen. One of the most common comments that you would get in Mach 3 is there are way too many buttons on the screen, I'm really confused. My answer to that was always that as a designer, I was trying to show an example of how every control in Mach 3 was used, and that worked well for us over the years. But the idea in Mach 3 was that users would change the screens to something that they would be comfortable with. It rarely happened. Of the almost 250,000 users of Mach 3, I think the most common screen is the one I originally released that was very busy and full of things. Augie is also very busy and full of things, and many of the things on it are related to lasers, which some people will not want to use at all with Augie. So, to that light, I've separated things into panels that you can easily edit and change around, and I thought I'd show you quickly how you can do that. If we go to the edit mode, you can see now that the screen is really built of a few controls, but mainly panels. And if you right-click on a panel, you'll come up with its properties, and there is pane config. And when you click on pane config, these little three-dot ellipses appear to the side, and it shows that you have one panel loaded. I have this panel configured so it doesn't zoom and it doesn't show menu bars or anything. It's just simply a holder for whatever pane I put into it. And you can see I have 4-axis panel put into it at the moment. Now I could go and select a new panel for that. Let's select 3-axis panel, and I'll move the 4-axis panel back out and say OK, and then OK. And now if we turn off the edit mode, the system will automatically reset, and you can see now that we have a 3-axis panel in that position. Now once you've changed a panel, you can see we're wasting space on the top and bottom, so you may want to go back into edit and take that information into account by moving this up to a place that you feel would be more adequate. And then we uncheck edit, and there you go. Now this frees up room so that you could move the other buttons around and perhaps hide them better on the screen. Once you know how your panels look, then you can simply go and deal with the other items that you might want to deal with. The editing tends to be fairly easy. It isn't perfect. Augie's a very complex machine at the moment, and there are a lot of things going on, so there's a lot of little bugs that you'll find in editing and stuff. But overall, I have to say, compared to Mach 3, the experience of editing a screen in Augie is a wonderful experience. This is not Scream 4, as we used to call it. Now, of course, sometimes a panel may not be available for you for what you want to do. So let's look at how I made these extra 3-axis and 2-axis panels. In fact, let's pretend for the moment that we want a 1-axis panel. All we would have to do is go into the configuration and say load a panel. One of the easiest things to do is start with a panel that's already out there and then modify it to suit yourself. So here I will pick the 4-axis panel, which is currently loaded on that part of the screen. We want to have a 1-axis. Well, let's go for a 2-axis panel. In order to do that, I'm going to go to edit mode, and let's just delete many of the things off the screen. The delete key on your keyboard will also delete things. Alright, so that brought us to here. You can see the screen looks a little messed up because things were removed. Whenever you're in edit mode, there is a right-click refresh screen, and that'll take you to there. Now, whenever you're inventing a panel, you should zoom it up so that it's the size of the screen. This allows you to more properly place things, and also remember panels are zoomed to the full size of their panel. So in this case, just to make things easy for yourself, we're going to select configuration, and under screen tools there is a fill screen command. If I select it, all the things on the screen will stretch out to a full screen. It's a very handy command to have. Now at this point we could just simply save this as a panel, and the panel will save it as is 2-axis. Now do not use a number as the first letter. If you do, the system won't be able to find that panel. Always make sure if you're going to use numbers that you spell them 2-axis panel, TWO, not the number 2. You could have the number 2 in the middle, but you can't have it as the first number of a name. It will create a bug that's hard to find for you. Okay, so I'm going to save that. It tells me it's going to replace it because I already did this earlier. After that, we can just go to our main window again just by reselecting it under screens. And now we're back. Now because we're in edit mode, all the panels show up as gray boxes. If we turn off the edit mode, we go back to normal. But again, we want to change this axis control to 2-axis, so we'll go back into edit. We'll select that panel, right click the properties, go to pane config and click it, and click the ellipsis. We'll take the 4-axis panel out. We'll move in that 2-axis panel that we just made, which is down here, and we'll say OK. Now because it's 2-axis, it's not going to take up anywhere near the room, so let's just slide this up to here and assume that that's going to be enough. We go to turn off edit mode, and the system resets, and now you can see we have a 2-axis system. Everything else will work in the system just like it should. You just simply have less screen space wasted. And now you're free to move other controls around and make things larger. If you do any of this, however, please save your screen as something else. I will overwrite the Pokeys motion screen, although we're not far away from the point where I'll start to release individual modality screens like Laser Screen 1 and Laser Photo Screen, etc., as we begin to change Augie into functionally specific screening. Alright, that's it for now. Don't want to bore you. Just a short video on how you can manipulate your own screen. Have fun.